Last week passed a non-binding resolution demanding an immediate ceasefire and the immediate release of all hostages. The impact on the ground has been limited, with Israel, backed by the United States, opposing a ceasefire that they believe would only benefit Hamas. A 7-day pause during which hostages were released and Palestinian prisoners freed in exchange ended on December 1st. And while intense fighting has resumed, Israel has since agreed to open the Kerem Shalom crossing into Gaza, which will now complement aid deliveries entering via the Rafah border crossing with Egypt.
Very good news. So I think it's good news. But it's not, and I think what we now have to work on as well, how can we make sure that these trucks can go everywhere in Gaza? And not just in the south of Gaza, but also to the north of Gaza. How for WHO it means that there's still 3 hospitals barely functional in the north. How do we make sure that we can get regular supplies and even, by the way, help to expand the number of beds, get emergency medical teams linked to those places? At the moment, that is not possible because of the lack of security, the difficult routings, etc. So that should change. It's a welcoming news, etc. It will help, but we're not only talking about getting supplies into Gaza, we're talking about getting supplies to the people all over Gaza.
The draft resolution also aims to set up a UN monitoring mechanism of aid deliveries into Gaza, made up of countries that are not party to the conflict. And as the fighting continues, only 8 out of 26 hospitals across the Gaza Strip are functional and able to admit new patients for very limited services, as frustration grows.
Not do our job. We cannot do our work right now because we are blocked and prevented from doing that work. We have restrictions on who we can have in the country. We can't get the aid in, and we have huge security access problems. You know that. You've been reporting on it for weeks. You've been reporting on it for weeks. So I think it's time that you went and asked some questions of some different sources as to why that situation prevails. Because it's not here you're going to get the answer to those questions. It's somewhere else, in another press conference, with other countries. So please, go and ask the questions there.
It's unclear whether this latest draft will pass the Security Council after the United States vetoed an earlier attempt this month that would have demanded an immediate ceasefire.
I think they're right to be disappointed. They're right to be disappointed with the world in general first. They're right to be disappointed with the international community. And we are part of the international community, so of course they will be disappointed with us too. But if they're not disappointed, I would be surprised. We're trying our best. It's not enough. Or whatever they're getting, it's a fraction of what they should get.
Close to 20,000 Palestinians, including Hamas militants, have been killed, the majority women and children. While Israel's military says 118 soldiers have died during their ground invasion into Gaza, in addition to around 1,200 Israelis killed by Hamas on October 7th, while more than 130 hostages are still held in Gaza. Shervin Briceby's SABC News, New York.